Hello, welcome back. I'm Aladino, and together with my wife Maya, we are refitting a Cape George Cutter 36. The refit is in turbo mode. We only have a few weeks left in this workshop before the boat is getting moved. Just a few weeks ago, the cockpit was still completely empty, but now it has really taken shape. Everything is fiberglassed. We still have to bed the hatches, put in the portholes and seal those, and we're also trying to install as much as we can of the interior before packing the entire workshop into the boat. Things are heating up. Good morning, everybody. Now, this week I anticipate some slightly different tasks. The last little while was fiberglassing for me, a lot of varnishing for Maya. Of course, there's some more of that, but I want to catch you up. Since we are going to move the boat soon, I want to have most items installed, because otherwise we just have to truck big items loose in the boat. And we already have so much stuff that we have to pack into the boat, like all those totes behind me, all the tools. One thing that I've dug out is the old table, so it would be nice to get this one in place. Another thing is the dividing wall between the head and the hallway. We took that one out a long time ago. Ooh, chaos. What I have going on right now is the framing of the bookshelves on top of our settees. I'm not gonna make doors yet, that's gonna take too long for the chaos that is in my mind right now, but at least have this frame. That would be nice. In the coming week, sand the overhead, varnish the overhead, so that then we can install this. Another thing is that Maya's parents are coming to visit again, and Maya's dad also is a marine engineer. As you can see back here, I dug out the old template that I made for our new engine. I'd like to crawl into the engine room with Brian and have that advance a little bit, at least in theory. Because we extended the starboard settee, it also means that we will extend the backrest and the cabinet on top of that. I'm going to use some of the teak donated by Brock to make that extension. Similar like on Magic Carpet 1 and probably on most boats, we're gonna have two cabinets, stern and bow, so to speak, and then the middle section is empty though and open for books. I still have to make the same notches to actually bring it up to the desired height. I marked where I want to have this piece of framing going up, and one of course over there by the bulkhead. Treat it all as equal, make the notches, and then fit it into place, just like I did on this side. So yeah, I hope it is visible, but this one had to go up higher. And then I also made a rebate on the inside so that it actually goes into the shelf. So yeah, I'm gonna do the same on the other side.
Share a nice, exciting little thing that we have received. This is a cushion for our chart table, and it was made by the original cushion maker who made the cushions for our boat 15 years ago. Incredibly, he still does cushions, and we managed to find him, and he does excellent work. So now we've got a perfect match to all the other boat cushions. Let's go have a look at it in place. The cockpit, by the way, is looking amazing. Completely different than how it's looked for the majority of this refit. Instead of a gaping wide hole with like dirty fiberglass and sawed off wood chunks everywhere, it's actually looking like a cockpit, and you can tell that there's a huge amount of work that's been happening here. Okay, let's go inside and have a look at this. Yeah, literally a perfect fit. These are such high quality cushions. I absolutely love them. Nice. And a huge thank you to our patrons Stephen and Caroline, who actually helped us out with the purchase of this. They donated towards half of the cost of this cushion, which is really nice because we weren't originally going to get this. Getting handmade cushions by a local artisan who has a lot of experience and with high quality materials obviously costs a lot of money. So thank you, Stephen and Caroline, for helping us with that. And it's really cool to actually get a matching set here. So I love the turquoise. It's gonna go so nicely, or does go so nicely, with the orange hues of the teak, and then of course contrasted by the beautiful crisp but still soft white. But yeah, it's a magnificent, really high density foam that feels great to sit on. It does not bottom out.
A high density foam like our bulwarks?
Well, no. A little different than that. Yeah, things definitely are speeding along. The varnish coats keep building up, and every day the boat is starting to look more and more like a boat rather than a construction site, which is very great to see. You know, as we've gone through all of this effort, something that keeps coming up is like, you know, what is the value in creating beautiful spaces? So much effort, so much time we're spending turning this into something that's really going to shine and is going to be beautiful. And what is the point in that? I think that there's actually a great deal of meaning in surrounding yourself with beauty. I think it adds so much to everyday life to be surrounded with things that feel good to you, whatever that is, and it's a very subjective thing. A space that feels good to you, items that feel good to you, people that feel good to you, contribute to leading a good life. And ultimately that's what we're trying to build here. This whole boat has been an effort to build a better life, and I think we're getting there.
Woohoo! I have some help today.
That would be me.
And Dad helped with the whole process of making the templates and cutting out these bulwarks.
Totally.
So now it's sort of a continuation.
When we initially made them, we left extra on the top because it's too hard to cut them rough to a finished position. So that's what we're doing now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And just in case you're not familiar, this is my dad, Brian, and is a marine engineer by profession, and apparently a convicted prisoner by fashion choice. So you guys have been developing a technique for doing this. You've been testing out a few different methods, and you've finally arrived to one which is going to be the best. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Sure. Well, yeah, we've tried many different tools because we're also trying to figure out what cuts through this material best. We tried oscillating multi-tool. Basically, it came down to the handsaw working the best because it doesn't melt the plastic, and the big teeth really eat away the material pretty well.
And it's the most controllable.
Yeah, and what we've been doing is actually getting our marks. We want to have a line on the inboard side to know where to cut to. And we are finding that one by first cutting down with the Sawzall, and one person is looking at the side deck with a gauge and trying to have the Sawzall blade parallel to the side deck. Mm-hmm. So yeah, one people looks down, the other one cuts with the Sawzall until we touch the hull, and then we mark it on the inboard end. And basically afterwards we will place the batten from dot to dot, connect the dots, and that gives us a line on the inside.
All right.
Which matches the line on the outside. it's really nice to have Brian helping us here with the bulwarks or with any other task. Just the way I work, I'm not sort of a project manager, just my style of working. It's usually all more or less all planned in my head. But yeah, with Brian, I mean, he's definitely better than I am at most of these things, and he knows what he's doing. So that's really awesome. So it really becomes, two persons speeding up the whole process.
Good morning. Mom and Dad left this morning. It was really nice having them here. So now we're back to regularly scheduled programming. I'm going to continue with the galley counters. They need to get sanded down, and then I will put maybe 1 or 2 more coats of the PP Extra clear varnish on them, and then finish off with that satin varnish. Once those counters are done, we can put the sink and the stove in, and that will sort of free up the space in the saloon that's currently, like the sink and the stove are currently in the middle of the saloon, so then I can varnish the settees. We only have 3 more weeks left here until our US visas expire and we're trucking the boat up to Canada. So it is sort of high stress times, I guess, at the moment, even more so than it has been. Yeah, there's a lot to organize. There has been an awful lot of behind the scenes organization, as well as I had to arrange the transport, of course deal with all the paperwork at the border, which has to be done ahead of time, fortunately, so hopefully the crossing itself is actually smooth. Dealing with things like boat registration and insurance, finding a place at the yard. There's just been an awful lot of logistical stuff, not to mention, the fact that we do have another boat in Europe that we are sort of trying to figure out what to do with, hopefully try to sell her this year. Another job that I'm gonna try and tackle today that I've really been procrastinating is using some Scotch-Brite to rough up the overhead here and put just a few coats of varnish on. Fortunately, we did have the foresight to actually sand the blocking before installing it, so I don't have to sand all the way back there, but I do have to scratch up the overhead and part of the beams. So I will do that, and then we'll try to apply a bit of varnish, and that means we can then install the cabinetry. But the cabinetry itself also needs sanding and varnishing, so I'm going to go start with that on the table and then return to this.
There has been a flooding!
What?
There has been a flooding! A flooding of packages!
Oh.
We have received so many packages, it's early Christmas, and now it's time to unwrap them.
We are reaching a point in the refit where we're having to order a lot of things in order to proceed.
Yes.
So
very importantly, within the priority of what I'm working on right now, the hatches have arrived. So, if you remember, we are rebuilding the cockpit.
We're rebuilding everything.
Rebuilding everything.
Cockpit is one of them.
But the one thing we're focusing on right now is the cockpit. So one thing that was stressing me out is building the hatches and gutters. It takes a long time to build those. So I've actually found a company that's Wells Fiberglass over in Palm Beach. And they make fiberglass hatches and gutters and lids.
Initial thoughts?
Oh, beefy, nice gel coat. They have many different sizes, so of course I built the cockpit in order to fit some of these. But one of our hatches, the rectangular big one, is a little odd. So thanks a lot to Jim's from Wells Fiberglass for customizing it for us. He did that at no charge for our shout out. So that is really, really nice. We really appreciate that. Now, the reason why I chose to go with these hatches is it saves me a lot of time. And they use CNC molds, which you cannot get more accurate than that. Now, yes, if this was the only thing I was doing, I could have built hatches myself, and I did in the past. But they would not turn around this nice and this quickly. And for the price that they come at, it was really a no-brainer. Because not only are you getting a hatch frame, a gutter, imagine all the detailing and sanding that you have to do in here unless you do a mold. And then there's also a lid, and it's a lightweight lid with foam core. Thanks a lot, Jim. These hatches have turned out great, and they are super exact to spec, so I made the cutout and they fit perfectly. On to the next package. Ooh, that's heavier. Wow, look at this packaging.
So this is a private person who just watches the channel and wanted to help us out of the kindness of his heart. And so this is really, wow. Look at that.
Right?
Wow. Okay, Aladino,
Huh?
explain what it is.
All right, this is the lid for our diesel tank. And these are tubes that reach the bottom of the tank that will get threaded into the couplings that are welded on here. This is the top of our water tank, and same thing. Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Couldn't be happier. Yeah, thanks a lot, Robert. This is better than we could have ever imagined to have these pieces turned out. And he was really involved in the process, and he was thinking of downfalls and maintenance in the future and challenges, and did an amazing job.
Obviously somebody who really knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it really helps when you're a sailor too, so you know healing and spare parts and remote places and all those things which he put consideration in. So let me try to explain a little further. So the big one is 1.5, and that will be for the fill tube. The bigger the better. And all the other couplings are 1/2-inch couplings. So that includes the vent, the faucet in the head, the faucet in the galley, and then there is a future one thrown in for like maybe the water maker and things that we haven't fully planned or thought through yet.
We've also had another package arrive, this one once again donated by Charlene, who has just given so much to this project. I don't even know what to say, it's just incredible. So Charlene has offered to get us a faucet for the galley, so I picked out a faucet, and one of the biggest considerations I had was because of the configuration of the galley, the faucet has to be mounted onto the side of the sink rather than center back. And I still wanted to really make sure that water was directed to the center of the sink rather than like off weirdly to the side. So I wanted a faucet that was large enough to sort of reach the center of the sink. So I ended up with a really big and dramatic, and I think really beautiful faucet. And here we are. So it is dramatic, it is large, but I think it will look really cool in this space. It will be framed in sort of that curved mushroom bulkhead, and I think it will be quite a centerpiece. So I really, really love it. It's just elegant and stylish, and we have a lot of curves on the boat, so I really wanted something also with a graceful curve to it. So Charlene, thank you for everything. It's just absolutely phenomenal to have such support.
And a while back, we've gotten another amazing thing. Check out these. What were they? Horn-cleat hosepipes. That's what John called them, and I don't doubt you're correct. Thank you so much for these, John. He sails West Sail 32. We really appreciate that he thought of us and sent them to us, so that we will certainly make very good use of them. Thank you so much for thinking of us. We are incredibly lucky to have so many supporting us. Yeah, it's really, really amazing, and we thank you all for that. Thanks so much for watching. Tune in next week for the continuation. And huge thanks to the names now appearing on screen for making sure that Magic Carpet productions keep coming out. And we will see you all next Friday.